Hello, folks. It's time to get involved in some more logistical. If you were paying attention at the end of last stream, and why would you have, but just in case, things might look a tiny bit different between then and now. All I've done in that period of time is unlock roads. So I basically made it so that way, if we have a look at like clay, for instance. Normally when we would grab clay, you'd see red dots all over the place, which were roads that needed clay. I filled them in. I basically went through each of the Australian businesses and just filled in every road work that needed goods. I figured that would be pretty boring to watch on stream, and I had a logistical itch in the middle of the day, and yeah, I wanted to scratch it, and that's what I did. It did, in one case, end up doing a business. I don't remember where. Somewhere over here, there was a road that was also on the corner of a town, and the good that the town needed was also the good that the road needed. So when I delivered to that point, it fulfilled both the road work and the town. So there's also one of those done. But yeah, I think so. I've figured this out. I've actually done a bit of research since I last played, just to sort of come to grips with a lot of the UI of the game. So this number here, the 202 on the left, is the total number of businesses that I have fulfilled, and that is the total number of businesses there are in the game. 202, 167,374. Similarly, this number, 55, is the amount of towns that I have completed. 55 of 47,986. The next thing further down is roads at 211 out of 9,863. That's actually a good thing. It means that they probably scroll back a little on going quite as heavily on the roadworks as the game progresses. Sorry, I had to cough there for a second. And the final thing is level 3 industries, of which we have 7 out of 111. I did level up a couple of industries as well in New Zealand while I was at it. I just noticed a couple while I was doing the exploration in New Zealand. One other thing that I noticed, remember how there were two things that happened which were a bit odd. You know how we would see trucks doing one route one way and then a different route the other way? Turns out there's a reason for that. It's not got to do with pathfinding or any weird shenanigans. It's got to do with the roads. So we have the pink and the sort of yellowy orange roads. And if we come down here and just hover over this little question mark, you can see there is a key, and that key is, hey, these roads can handle this level of weight. So our trucks would be taking one route there, and then they'd fill up, and they'd have to take a different route back because they would have to take different roads. Pretty straightforward stuff once you know where to look for the information. What else is there? There was a payment thing, so we could see like all of our fuel and stuff as it comes out. And if we click global statistics, we can see a breakdown. Now this shows a breakdown of my profile. Back in 2018, I would say, I played Logistical 2 for a brief period of time. I even streamed it once. And I succeeded in completing the tutorial and the Isle of Man, which is like a tutorial area, and then did a little bit of the next couple of areas before I sort of, I was done with it. And with Earth, of course, we have this insane level. It's nice to know we only have 3 towns to worry about in Antarctica when we eventually get there. But yeah, it's pretty dense. I was like, how do I have 17 towns in North America? But I guess they're counting those islands as North America? I would have thought they were South American islands. Do I just not understand where the borders of North America and South America start? Yeah, to me that's South American, is it not? Yeah, Hawaii was something that I did. Um, in Logistical too. Yeah, clearly. All right, well, the more you know. Anyway, for today, what we're going to be focusing on is we're going to focus on trying to finish New Zealand and get shipping underway. Now, I'm glad that I took a little bit of downtime to try and figure this out because I ran into a bit of a stumbling block and I wasn't sure how to proceed. And I was really quite flummoxed. And the stumbling block is as follows. In order to get warehouses at ports, you need to complete the port. So, for instance, we need to complete the port of Taronga. In order to do that, of course, I need to deliver all of these goods. Now, some of these goods were problematic. For instance, glass. So you can see that we have a source of glass, but it's 2.9. If I was to go and have a look at that source of glass, you can see that it's locked, and it's locked for a very good reason. We can supply pretty much everything. Maybe not wool yarn. Yeah, even wool yarn we can supply, but the problem that we have is wheat. There's nowhere on this island that produces wheat. So how are we going to complete a port that requires glass if we do not produce wheat? Similarly, if we have a look over here, as I found out when I was surfing around, we do have a wheat production place. So it's obvious, right? We just go and we get the wheat from here and ship it across the ocean. Well, actually, if we have a look at this, hey, that's my house. If we have a look at this, we can see on the left right now, and coming up towards the 12, is wheat. So wheat can't actually proceed between the two islands. So, oh, okay. So you're somewhere in Darfield? Okay. What a normal name of a place. Well, there you go. I like the little kind of star grid thing they've got going on here in this town. It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. So, okay. So what we need to do then, I guess, is find a way to get the wheat across. And the only way that I can think of to get the wheat across is to level this up to level 3. So that's our goal, right? Level the wheat field up to level 3, because then it's an industry that we can build. Hey Baz. But in order to do that, we need fertilizer, and on the South Island, there's only one place that does fertilizer. Once again, you can sort of see the way that see how the quarantine is pulsing? That's letting you know that you won't be able to ship it across that quarantine zone. So if we have a look at the place that needs fertilizer, okay, cool, we'll just provide this with sorghum. Oh wait, sorghum is once again quarantined. So, in order to get all of this done, what we need to do is produce sorghum over here. So we need to get the sorghum farm up to level 3. And, whew. So, what we need to do is we need to get the sorghum farm up to level 3. Then we need to complete a town within the southern island that can house a sorghum business. Then we can set the sorghum business up, and then we can provide the goods on the southern island. So we'll see how it goes. Hey Baz, I've been streaming somewhat regularly of late. Somewhat regularly. So we are 54 experience away, but we have already filled it with fertilizer. So unfortunately, we need to find a place that utilizes the sorghum. We have a couple of places, so we'll focus on those first. Oh, excellent. We just found another business that needs upgrading. So let's focus on upgrading businesses first. Let's use the correct truck. So this will take a little bit of time, but not too long. Unfortunately, the problem with me streaming which has always been my problem with me streaming, is that I live on a 26-hour day. And that means that I can never, ever, ever stream consistently. It's just never going to happen, as much as I would love it to. And I feel that that's really hard for people who are wanting to sort of like keep track and keep pace with something that's going on, right? Like, if people are wanting to keep track of these streams, for instance, it's just never going to happen. Never, ever, ever going to happen. All right, let's provide sorghum to that business, and we'll see how it goes. $26. It's actually like it's a condition that quite a few people have, and strangely, the condition only exists in like more than 24 hours. And I'm glad that I only have 26, because people can have up to 30-hour days, and 30 hours would just be way worse than what I'm putting up with. But yeah, the condition is never less than 24 hours. It's always more. And they don't really know what causes it. It's not really, I guess it kind of feels like an insomnia. If I try and force myself to sleep on a 24-hour level, eventually my brain will just give up and force me to stay awake. I do apologize about the doggy noises. You don't tend to get those when I'm streaming of an evening. Streaming of a daytime. Because they're asleep, and that's useful. So yeah, it's really bad, but that's not the beagle. The beagle's the one that woos. That's the staffy. The staffy's the one with the anxious barking. Yeah, it is effectively a bad internal clock. All right, so we have our sorghum to level 3. Next, we need to find a town that we can install that in. So I guess the first thing we've got to look at is, well, like, let's think about it. It'd be really awesome if we could put the sorghum close to the cattle ranch. So let's kind of try and find some towns in the area that we might be able to deal with. Eggs, boats, and beer. Eggs are not quarantined, strangely, but that's fine. So let's get... Ooh, we don't produce eggs. Why do we not produce eggs? We don't produce eggs because they need wheat. Okay. Let's find another town. Okay, what about this one over here? This one needs chickens. Chicken's going to be the same problem as the eggs. I mean, it would make sense. Yeah, okay. Okay, we could probably do... is Geraldine there? Well, we can find out, right? I found that there is a way to search for towns. We search for... Geraldine, New Zealand. There's also Geraldine Museum, New Zealand, and Geraldine Vintage Car and Machinery Museum in New Zealand. So there you go. Geraldine is a town, but it is not the type of town we need. We need a town that is a blue town. This town of Timaru seems potentially good, assuming we can deal with cattle. Cattle is what we need there. They're making me search for it, that's for sure. Oh, looks like I have... No, I haven't completed Dunedain, but it looks like it might be easy for me to do as long as I can... what can't I ship? It looks like I can ship milk. No? Okay, we can ship water, so let's do that. Yeah, like the Rangers in Lord of the Rings, right? That's what your that's what your country's known for. So, you know, I figured it was only appropriate. Is it Dunedin? Or is that an even worse butchering? Oh, so it would be something like Dunedin then. Ooh, we might not be able to complete this. The consumption rate of this town, because it's so big, is problematic. Ah, Dunedin, right. Of course, that would be another way of pronouncing it. Alright, that'll take a while to fulfill. Let's see if we can find another one. I'm not going to stop it because... Oh, there we go. That'll be an easy one, won't it? Nice. Nope, no vehicle access. That's... God. Everything that I want to do is quarantined. Alright, is Bali quarantined? Yes. So this, I guess, is the other part of the tutorial island, right? Forcing you to start bringing goods across. Making sure to teach you the concepts of... oh, we can bring roast chickens. But we're not producing roast chickens. Okay. What about this? We have a place that does beer, but beer will require wheat. So that's not going to be a thing either. Oh, you look potential. Okay, what about you? Alrighty. Switch to doing that. Alright, Blenheim in New Zealand. We have to venture to the southern point in order to get New Zealand's... oh yeah, okay, that was the thing that we were supposed to complete. It gave us 50,000 gold, which is pretty good. Gold, yes, that's what I've decided is the currency of this game. I have 2.7 million gold, whatever that is. Alright, so we can buy industries. So we now have access to all of our level 3 industries. And they cost us, wow, they cost us a really differing amount. Each industry seems to have its own unique costs associated with it, which is just, it's the level of insanity I've come to expect from the person who runs this game. I do quite like it. I just think it's insane. Now, I don't know how the sizing works, but we're not going to need a whole lot of sorghum. So we'll just start at a 2 of 10 and see how that goes. 50,000 coins. Okay, 2 of 10 might have been a little too little. Excuse me. Sorry, I did just finish eating, so... It might upgrade quite substantially, so I'm going to... Yeah, I want you to... Okay, fine. Oh, I did end up doing it. No. We need to provide you with fertilizer. Yeah, we'll see how it levels up. But if it levels up really poorly, we might... quarantine. Okay, cool. We will sell that. It only sells for 10,000, but that's okay. It was a nice experiment. Let's try a 6 of 10 for 100,000. And do that. Okay, that's substantially better to begin with. I would like fertilizer from there. Okay, it is producing fertilizer at a at a rate. It's not a very fast rate, but it is a rate. We can improve this by building another industry here that also requires sorghum and provides thing. Wood, unfortunately, is so many things are quarantined. But what I have understood is that the quarantines only exist on the transportation type that it is. So this is based on trucks for some reason. Well, I know what the reason is. It's tutorializing parts of the game. So yeah, I'm trying to remember. We're leveling this up because we need it to get the fertilizer. Because fertilizer needs to go into the wheat field. Well, we have a decent amount of fertilizer right now, and the sorghum field is basically full. Let's try taking that to the wheat farm. Okay, wheat farm also needs steel. So we found that steel is required for both the sorghum field and this. So we'll probably, we have to bring steel across the island. There's no ifs, no buts, no coconuts. Now the question is gravel also a problem? Oh, there it was. Let's control click. Okay, gravel is not a problem. We can bring gravel across just fine. Yep. No, I didn't actually want to do that. I just was double checking. So since we can bring gravel across just fine, the next thing that we need in this place is a steel mine. We're not going to need a whole lot of steel, so I will try and spend... I really don't want to spend much, but that's okay. It is what it is. Alright, we're going to provide you with iron ore, so we'll get that sorted. Ah, iron ore, not gravel. I don't know why I thought gravel would be what the steel mill required, but thankfully, iron ore is also just fine. Wood is not, which is a bit of a problem, but that's okay. Let's take the sorghum from here and deliver it across. Okay, then let's take the... How do we... How do we... Okay, I think what I do is I turn off empty. Then we take the steel from here and we deliver it to the wheat farm. And we want to make sure that we have 12 tons of it. That should be about enough. Well, we've told it not to fully empty, which will allow me to then route it back over here. Nice. Okay, so I don't know why I bothered to open that, but we have done wheat now to level 2. So our goal is to get wheat all the way, no, to level 1. Our goal is to get wheat all the way to level 3. Okay. Now there is a bakery. I swore there was a bakery. You're telling me a bakery doesn't need wheat? I guess it needs flour. Yeah, it needs flour. Okay. Where do we get flour from? Oh, look, fancy that. It's a thing across the pond. But that's going to require... Where is it? Game? Okay, so yes, that requires wheat. So we can't get this to level 3. So we have to somehow get the wheat to level 3 without providing it to a flour place. That's going to be interesting. Okay. I guess there's a few places nearby that need a decent amount of it. And okay, right. So I imagine Christchurch being a big place will actually consume this wheat at a terrifying rate. Let's give it a shot. I forgot to re-put on empty cargo. That's fine. Go over here and empty that. Yeah, the problem is that the quarantine stops that from being a thing. That's the way I'd like to do it. Okay. Was I roughly right about Christchurch? Oh yeah, it's eating that super quickly. Alpha says, I just started the first WOD of Logistical. Well, you're not missing out on a hell of a lot. Let's go get some plastic and then we'll be able to level this business up again, which is what we need to do. Okay. Alright, now we need to get it down 150. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go back and forth at Christchurch. Yeah. Sorry, let me just pause for a moment. Do you want spoilers, Alpha? I mean, I can give you spoilers. I can give you big spoilers. Sorry, you were saying something about scale. Yeah. Right, so let's continue this going. Alright, so it does need wood. Okay, so we're going to need to bring a wood thing across. Okay. So we need a wood thing across. Now, I forget if the wood... We worked out that it is just a forest, right? Yeah, it is just a forest, so that should be fine. We can build a forest. And we'll make it like... Yeah, we'll make it like that. Which, you know, is not much wood, but it should be okay. Let's turn off the empty again, because we can level up our steel this way as well. Let's provide you with wood. You only need 4. You need 150. Okay, so let's send you that way. Ah, yeah, that was never going to work, was it? Okay, let's try that again. We do this, we go, and then we pause, and then we send you back. It's not the most elegant of solutions, but... okay, and then we tell you to empty the rest here, and then we'll level up. We'll level up the forest. Because plastic we can send across. Yep. Yeah, it's a crazy game. Alpha, it's an absolutely crazy game. Okay, we've now leveled the wood up, so that's good. And we'll possibly level the wood up once more, depending on what it requires. Yep, gravel should be nice and easy. It's a puzzle game. If you can call what is it? If you can call Euro Truck Simulator a game, you can call this a game. If anything, this technically has more game elements than Euro Truck Simulator does. So, yeah. All right. So we probably could have done a 2 out of 10 on the forest. I'm not going to bother leveling this up again, there's no point. Alright, we now have wheat at level 3. Okay. This changes everything. Oh, that's probably coming in the next game, except I know that that's not the case. For those who didn't read game blogging on the Jake Discord, the next game that the man is working on, because he is clearly sane, is World of Model Railways, which involves doing every railway in the game, including each individual station in the game, including each individual platform in the game, so in the entire world, and then the schedules of those trains. It's just, the man is just, it's just, my gosh. Literally mad. Basically, it feels that way. Okay, so wheat. Let's find a town near here that we've managed to complete. We can't do Rotorua. I guess it doesn't actually need to be near here. It just would be convenient. Here we go. And this place too is also reasonably close. Pain to get out of there though, so let's do this one. I mean, those skills you can't really design the later parts of the game as a puzzle. It becomes more of an open world sim. Yep. Alright, so we can now build a wheat farm. I'm going to build a 6 out of 10 wheat farm because there was a lot of places here that required wheat. It's so expensive, but we're going to make a lot of money in a few minutes, so that's going to be okay. We now have wheat over here, which is going to unlock a lot of things if I can remember all the chain that I need to do to use it. Accurate model of New Zealand roadworks, though. Some of those roads I've worked on for decades. My favourite thing was they installed a temporary roundabout. I know I need the Port of Taronga, but we actually need the bottles and the glass for the Port of Taronga. And don't ask me how wheat was factoring into this, because oh, right. What we need is wheat here, because we can provide all the other goods here, and that'll unlock the glassworks. Right. Thank you. Strudel, you actually were useful. For a change. Okay. Let's get some fish. Let's get some sand. Good morning, the Guardian Knight. Now, we're limited on eggs, but thankfully we have enough for this, which is all I care about. What about wool yarn? Wool yarn's down here somewhere, right? Yep, we've got enough for that as well. Sounds like a bazaar is useful. Better than nitro. I mean, that's not exactly a hard bar. I mean, I guess it's not barren. Okay, and then kiwi fruit. And then groceries. Okay, now that we have unlocked this place, we can now provide sand to the glassworks. Okay, excellent. So now glass is producing. We can level it up with newspaper, which we have access to. Okay. Let's give you another load of sand, because that will be exactly 40 tons, and that should do the experience bar the rest of the way. Okay, the next thing you need is crates. We don't have access to crates. But here's something that we can do. Actually, we can't do it. What we would need to do is we would need to find a place that only needs crates. So one of these. So, because I found out something pretty cool. It's, once again, something that only if you know that you need it would you be able to figure it out. But if you find a good, let's say oil, right? And maybe you can't find oil where you've been. You can hover over this question mark. And all the areas in red or yellow, I suppose, will show you places that you can get oil from. Yellow are, of course, places that you already have access to, you've already built industry, and red are places that you haven't been yet. So, if there is a good that you need to import, this will show you where in the world you can import it from. So I would like to know where I can import crates from. Because you'd think that it's a worldwide thing, but it doesn't feel like it. So this is as leveled up as we can get the glasses and bottles. That should be fine. The good thing about the ports is that they don't have population, so they don't consume. So that's not going to be a problem at all. Let's begin working on this and see how we go. We might get stuck on something else, but I don't think so. We might get stuck waiting for bottles to be rebuilt from that plant. I don't know how quickly it does it. Turns out pretty quick, so that shouldn't be fine. No worries, Alpha. Okay, next up is wood, which we definitely have plenty of. Same with steel, same with plastic, same with glass. We've definitely got enough lettuce, and I think the last one includes bacon, which, if memory serves, we have quite a lot of as well. So we should be fine. Thank you very much. Yeah, I noticed that he killed the weekly one-shot. A shame. That was some easy points to make on that one. Alright, let's go and get steel. And naturally this would be easier if I had a bigger truck or multiple of the smaller trucks, but it's fine. It doesn't take too long. There is also a, you can see the purple line, there is also a railway system within New Zealand that we could have unlocked, but we never did. I don't really want to unlock it now. Its cost is prohibitive, and I'd rather us get a really big ship. basically. I think a really big ship is going to be the thing that helps us the most. So the other thing that I need to figure out as well, I don't know how many town slots we're going to get, but I need to figure out what goods we are going to export from this port, because that's going to be really important. Figuring out exactly what we can and can't export. I mean, I already know what the deciding factor is, but we'll have a look at that once we've finished unlocking this port. Because unlocking one port is all well and good, but you can't actually deliver goods to another port until that also has a store. So they can do Nagati Night if I have set them up to do stuff. There is no need for me to be doing that right now, though. Okay, so it looks like grapes is the only fruit we currently have available to us. And grapes requires fertilizer. That should be pretty easy. But we're limited to only 15, which is a bit of a problem. So I guess the question is, what other fruits are there available on the other island? I don't really want to spend more money necessarily, but if there is a fruit available that is better, that could be good. But they might all need crates. So let's focus on leveling the other fruity goods up and see if any of them don't require crates. Okay, you need water to level up to level 2. That seems pretty easy. Okay. We'll try leveling you up a little bit more, but depending on what you need next, you need wood. Excellent. We'll get that sorted. Must be a place nice and nearby that maybe some of the world's best oranges exist there. Sorry about my throat, by the way. I don't know why I'm coughing as much today. I don't generally like coughing on stream, but it is what it is. Okay, next up is going to be, well, I guess it's going to be tomatoes from Tree Church. I had the weirdest dinner tonight. I had a steak, but it was just a steak by itself. So I knew that I would still need more food after that because, you know, I'm a big fat dude and that's what we need. So I had a thing which might only be Australian potentially, called Nutri-Grain, which that's a breakfast cereal. It's, so yeah, I had steak and breakfast cereal. It's a perfectly balanced dinner. Oh, so when I completed the port of Taronga, I thought, oh, we're probably going to get, 3 to 5 businesses to unlock at the port, and that'll be fine. 30. 30 is the number. I really thought that we would have some limitations there. But I think with 30, we're probably fine. Okay, I am significantly less concerned about trying to figure out which stores I need to put on the port of Taronga. Before we look into shipping, because we need to get our money back up to 2.5 million at least. And that's not including the cost for stores and stuff like that. We should look at the other ports really briefly. So we have, well, actually, this is an airfield, but it has what looks like a port route to it, which is a bit weird. Don't know, but I think maybe it's just showing that a ship could supply these goods too. Question: it looked like it doesn't have road access. Can we supply? No vehicle access. Okay, so only a boat can supply these goods. Okay, it is what it is, I suppose. What other ports do we have? We have a port down in Wellington. Finally, a name in New Zealand that I have no difficulty pronouncing. So we have bottles. That's not a problem. We have grapes, which are a little frustrating, but we could do it. It would just take a bit of time. Newspapers we've got, iron ore we've got, steel we've got, wool not sure about, asphalt we've got, boats we've got, and water we've got. So the only question mark there is wool. Okay, we have wool. Alright, so we can also open the port of Wellington at this point. So we're not just limited to the port of Taronga. And we'll possibly focus on that. Yeah. Let's... What do you mean no vehicle access? Ah, okay. So the port of Wellington is only provided to by rail and boats itself. Interesting. And if we were to come on over to the port of Taronga, I suppose we would see a road connection. I don't exactly see a road connection, but it did let us deliver to it by road. Ah, right, that's because the port of Taronga is here. It doesn't look like it had a road connection. But... oh yeah, I guess... ah, yeah, that's what that thin line is. Okay. So the port of Taronga does have a road connection. Imagine being able to drive places. No, here's the thing. Imagine having floaties on your truck and not being able to deliver to the port of Wellington. You can go between the islands just fine, but going to the port in Wellington, no. That's... we'll also have a look at the port down here. Okay, so we have road access for this port. That's what this thin pink line is versus these thicker purple lines. So we could do Littleton if we wanted to. We have bricks on this island, and I've brought across steel and wood and fertilizer. So the only thing we're missing is clay, which I think is also on this island, if memory serves. It is. So we've got clay and bricks and steel and wood and fertilizer. So the port of Littleton is one that we can probably also unlock. Let's go and start delivering wood. Whilst I start trying to figure out how we're going to get the amount of money that we need. We can get 100... Antarctica ferry fixed. The ferry is closed from New Zealand to Antarctica. If we complete Southland, or how would you say that? It's not Southland, right? Would they call it like Southern? I don't know. It is Southland, and they call it Southland. Okay. Alright, so complete this and we can access Antarctica. Well, we don't even know what some of this is, so that's not something we're going to be doing anytime soon. It's Southland. Southland. I guess it's doable. No, not Littleton trains. I want the port. Give me the port. Alright, let's focus on steel next. Well, maybe not. Oh yeah, no, steel next, sure. Okay, so you need sand. If memory serves, sand was one of those annoying... Oh no, it wasn't. Okay, cool. Get you to go on your way, and then we'll upgrade the steelworks. Is it because it's rough and dry and gets in places? Or is it rough and coarse? I forget what the Star Wars line for that is. Alright. It's coarse and rough and it gets everywhere, yep. There's ahead of you there, Baz, come on. Alright, cool. That should provide the rest of the steel requirement. It shouldn't be a problem. So now I know what this number means. This number is the, like, level of the industry. So... there's no point in leveling up past this point. We do not need a level 3 steel over here yet. It's not to say we won't need, just we don't presently need. Alright, next up is fertilizer. And fertilizer currently is limited here, but we can fix that with some wood. So let's do that. I was more of a Sith guy anyway, it's fine. What about sorghum? Okay. Because this is going to be a little bit intricate. So slow. But we need to provide fertilizer to get sorghum back. So let's do that first. Yeah, I think fertilizer is going to be the problem child here. Okay, plastic to level it up. I don't know if leveling up also improves the ratio, like the rate that the fertilizer is produced. I know that it improves the efficiency, but I'm not sure about the rate.